Welcome, everybody. My name is Weldy Fizel. I am your contact for this request for Master Developer Qualifications for our Parker Authority for Reinvestment owned sites and Town of Parker owned sites in downtown Parker. I'll just briefly go through this presentation. I do have our Deputy Director of Community Development on the call, and hopefully some other staff joining in that can help answer questions that I may not be able to address immediately. So let's get started. Introduction. Parker Authority for Reinvestment is the Town of Parker's Urban Renewal Authority, affectionately known as PAR. So if you hear me say PAR, that's what I'm referring to. And will be the lead organization for this master developer solicitation. This solicitation is, its purpose is to find a master developer partner to further develop these sites in a planned development with staff, with the public participation. So this is not intended to be a planning exercise. It is more helping us identify the right master developer partner. So I just wanted to make that clear up front. There are 4 properties included with this RFQ, and we'll go into further details into these sites. The total acreage is about 30 acres across the 4 sites. They are not contiguous sites, but they are very close in proximity to one another. Future development will have to be consistent with all of the Town of Parker's long-range plans and zoning. I'm hopeful all of you got the link this morning to the RFQ details. All of those plans are included as appendices. And then, again, we have not determined any specific plan for these properties, and we do understand that flexibility will be required to develop these in the future and make sure we're achieving our downtown vision for Parker. For those of you who aren't familiar with Parker, just a quick overview. Parker is about as far south and east as you can get and be in the Denver metro area. That means we're about 25 miles by car to downtown Denver, about 54 miles to Colorado Springs, and very close to the Denver Tech Center. We are uniquely positioned geographically, that we have great access to Denver, Colorado Springs, the Tech Center, and then DIA. Brief high-level snapshot of our demographics. We're just over 51,000 in population. However, we have a larger trade area population of about 131,000. We're still a relatively young community with high median household incomes. We do have just almost getting close to 18,000 households in Parker, and our median home value was about $440,000. We are highly educated, with 52% of our population having a bachelor's degree or higher. The opportunity in this RFQ is to expand Parker's vision for its downtown area, and that is as a community gathering place, regional destination, and a mixed hub with continuing our thriving arts, business, entertainment, and my personal favorite, shopping. So again, the 4 acres are about 30 acres, or the 4 sites, sorry, are about 30 acres, currently publicly owned by either PAR or the Town of Parker. They do represent a unique opportunity for infill development, and we want to make sure we're activating our Main Street and help the community to realize what the vision of downtown could be. Ultimately, we want to find a master developer that can help leverage and implement this opportunity into a phased, mixed-use creative project, and its success will be measured in terms of placemaking and real estate development. The master development team, these listed are the aspects of the master development team we would like to see in place. However, we understand that probably is not going to be possible to identify all these members for an RFQ response. We'd like to know what members you have identified, if you have identified them for the RFQ response, but we did want to make it clear up front that these are the types of partners we want to see brought into the entire master development team from the beginning. Again, just downtown vision and opportunity. This is pulled directly from our Main Street Master Plan, which is attached as an appendice in the website. I think it's a brief statement that is very important to making sure this project is successful. Downtown Parker is a quaint, historic, and walkable core that captures the authentic spirit of our community. Rich with opportunities for art, entertainment, dining, business, and learning, downtown celebrates its unique character and appeal as an inviting, exciting, creative district destination with year-round activities and amenities. Parker's vision is to continue shaping an exceptional and vital downtown that enriches the business community, residents, and visitors alike. The development high-level vision is to expand and strengthen downtown Parker development, contribute to a sense of place in downtown Parker as a destination, and then promote high-quality development. These items are also expanded upon within the RFQ itself. So without further ado, let's talk about the sites. What we have here is a map of downtown Parker. You see Parker Road to the far east, and then it extends through our downtown. So Site 1 is labeled, and it is our northeast property on the map. You have Site 2, kind of catty-corner across the street. And then if you zigzag back north, we have Site 3, and to the furthest east, you have Pine Curve, our property. So we will talk about each one of those properties independently. So our first site is currently at 19801 East Main Street. It is a 1-acre property, fairly square site, bounded to the west by Victorian Drive, the south Main Street, and then the north and east are a townhome community called Town and Country Village. It is generally a flat site. It has 2 curb cuts, one on Victorian and one on Main Street currently. The town would like to see a redevelopment that would remove the curb cut on Main Street. It is about 1 acre in size. It currently does have a building on it that we would anticipate would be demolished for any redevelopment of this site. That building was built in the early 80s and is currently owned by the Parker Authority for Reinvestment. And if you have any questions about a site as we go through it, feel free to jump in and ask. So if there are no questions about this site, I will move on to the next one. Site 2 is called Pace Lot 2. This is a 1.4 acre property that is located directly north of our Pace Center, which is our Parker Arts, Cultural, and Entertainment Center. It is also generally flat in nature, bounded to the north by Main Street, to the west Pine Drive, to the east Pace Center Drive, and to the south the Pace Center itself. There are no curb cuts directly to the site, but there is Pikes Peak Avenue that runs between this site and the Pace Center. So it is surrounded by access. There are no stormwater concerns. On this site, it's handled regionally off-site and is currently owned by the town of Parker. Jumping across the street, a lot has changed on this entire site since this aerial was taken last spring. The area outlined is a 4-acre property. It is now on the north side of Main Street. What you can't see from this aerial is the library is that it's identified as now complete and open, as well as Discovery Park just to the east, that's labeled on there. That is now up and open, and that is a 1-acre park with a band shell, an ice ribbon for ice skating that goes around the park itself. And in the summer, there will be a splash park on the site, as well as concerts in a band shell on the site. And some large public art that's on the site as well, right at the corner of Pace Center Drive and Main Street. The aerial does not make this site look as attractive as it is, but Pace Center Drive is complete as well, going through the site out to Pine Drive. Another relatively flat site. It does have stubs to utilities going along Pace Center Drive, and is currently owned by the town of Parker. And then our fourth site is our largest site. It is a 24-acre site that is just east of what's developed in downtown right now. It does have a considerable slope to it, between 5 and 6%, and has a large regional stormwater pond on the site. That stormwater pond, as it gets developed, can be shrunken down, but that will be part of the site design and development process with our engineering team. To the north of this site, kind of up in the far northern corner, you can see a street across from Pine Drive labeled Somerset Lane. The town is currently in the process of extending Somerset Lane across Pine Drive to this site. At some point, that will be a signalized full movement intersection, as will where Main Street crosses Pine Drive and could enter into the Pine Curve site. That is anticipated, that is signalized today, and it's anticipated to be full movement in the future. Uniquely, this site does currently have 2 old homes that are on it that will need to be demolished as part of any future site plan, and there will be a requirement as we're developing the site plan that there is a buffer between the development and the single-family homes of Parker Vista to the east. This property is currently owned by the town of Parker as well. Here, what we have here is the RFQ selection schedule. Today, you're all on this lovely webinar, and I appreciate that. On March 10th, we will have an optional pre-submittal conference and tour. That tour will be weather permitting, so hopefully it'll be a nice Colorado spring day, and we can go around and walk to the sites and talk about them. March 17th, any written questions are due. We will return those responses to you within a week. We are asking if by April 21st, if there is an expression of interest on submitting this, that you go ahead and provide that to me so that we can make sure we're getting a good view of how many responses we're going to get. That is optional. And then April 27th is when we're having the responses due by 4 p.m. All the response details can be found in the RFQ itself. We will then, as staff, review the responses and shortlist developers for interviews on May 9th. And then that evening of May 9th, those that were interviewed, we are asking that you do brief presentations. They don't need to be super long. That will be open for the public on the shortlisted developers. And then if we need to, on May 10th, we will have a second round of interviews. And we will make our final selection on this on May 16th. I am your contact information. Our contact person, here's my information. If you need to get a hold of me for anything, please let me know. I'm hopeful everybody on the call did get the link this morning for the RFQ. If not, please send me an email and I will make sure you get that immediately. I do have staff on the call, so if you have any questions, please, we're here to answer them for you. So I will open it up. No questions?
Just one. What form do you want to take the optional expression of interest? What do you want that to include?
Just your name, company, and any contact information. And you can just email that to me as long as I have a written record of it. I'm okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Weldy, can you hear me?
Yes.
So Weldy, this is in group. This is Jason Rogers, Deputy Director for Community Development, but also PAR Director. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for your participation and activity this morning. Weldy, I think, hit on some of the bigger pieces, but the biggest one is that we are wanting to make sure that we are going through this process in order to be able to find a development partner that can help engage us with our community and being able to shape a vision for downtown. So this is going to be a very fluid and organic process as we go through the RFQ. So as you go through your proposals and generate questions, do not hesitate to reach out to Weldy so that we can be able to post information so that you all can have a highly responsive proposal and submittal to PAR. And that's about that.
One quick question. This is Mike Bannon. On the Weldy, on the Pine Curve site, I think you had mentioned that there's a stormwater basin.
There is.
Okay, where is that located on the site?
It's, well, right now, if I showed it to you, you'd freak out and say we've taken away all the development opportunity. Right now, it's generally where this graded area is. It is my understanding that due to slope and drainage and this being a regional detention, it needs to be located generally in this area.
Okay. So the graded, are you saying the western side of the site? Is that what you're referring to?
They sort of graded right along Pine Drive. We needed that dirt for fill across the street on the East Main site. So given the unique slope, they took dirt out, and so this area is just generally flatter. The kind of western boundary is generally flatter than the rest of the site because of that, and is just a temporary drainage, regional drainage at this point.
Right. And I think to add on to that, Mike, obviously as we kind of, as we get into the nuts and bolts when actually going through the site planning process at the appropriate time, we'll be able to have greater discussions about the width and the depth of that drainage area and how that looks and feels with engineering and public works. But in generalities, it's located adjacent to Pine Curve.
Okay, that's helpful. And you may not have this answer, but of the 24 acres, do you have any sense at the end of the day what percentage is going to have to be attributed to that?
We don't at this point. I think, we're generally flexible and doing our best to maximize the development opportunity on this site while maintaining the regional drainage. So I don't have that answer, and I'm not sure our engineers know that yet. But
okay,
I think
no problem.
Definitely.
Yeah, it also comes back down to what the proposal becomes or is developed on that property through our community engagement and visioning aspects. So like I said, that's where once we've actually been able to engage our community, be able to work in developing a shared vision and the highest and best use for that property, we'll then be able to start thinking about the technical application of certain infrastructure.
Sure, makes sense. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, again, here is my contact information. Please feel free to reach out at any time, and I thank you all for joining the call this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.